Everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to show. Everybody wants to prove something to somebody who doesn't even care. But the truth is, your power isn't in the noise you make. Your power is in the silence you keep. Your greatness isn't in announcing what you're about to do. It's in doing it so well that the world has no choice but to notice. You are not here to convince anybody of your value. You are here to manifest it. You are here to embody it. You are here to walk into every room as if you already own the space, not because you said it, but because you became it. You don't have to broadcast your plans. You don't have to explain your dreams. You don't have to post every move you make. What you need to do is focus on yourself with such an obsession that the results speak louder than any words ever could. When you chase approval, you move with hesitation. But when you focus on yourself, you move with conviction. You stop worrying about timelines. You stop worrying about competition. You stop worrying about who's ahead and who's behind. You understand that silence is your shield and focus is your weapon. Every second you waste explaining, justifying, defending. You're stealing time away from the mission. You're leaking energy that should be fueling your destiny. Focus on yourself like your life depends on it, because it does. Grow in private, build in private, win in private. Let people think you're doing nothing while you're stacking victory on top of victory behind the scenes. Let them underestimate you. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Because when the time comes, when the work is undeniable, when the fruit is hanging heavy from your tree, you won't have to say a word. The results will introduce you. The success will announce you. The transformation will shock them. It's not about proving anybody wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about honoring the calling placed on your life. It's about waking up every day and making a silent agreement with yourself that you will not stop. You will not fold. You will not be distracted. Focus on yourself. Stay silent. Do the work. Watch what happens. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to show. Everybody wants to prove something to somebody who doesn't even care. But the truth is, your power isn't in the noise you make. Your power is in the silence you keep. Your greatness isn't in announcing what you're about to do. It's in doing it so well that the world has no choice but to notice. You are not here to convince anybody of your value. You are here to manifest it. You are here to embody it. You are here to walk into every room as if you already own the space, not because you said it, but because you became it. You don't have to broadcast your plans. You don't have to explain your dreams. You don't have to post every move you make. What you need to do is focus on yourself with such an obsession that the results speak louder than any words ever could. When you chase approval, you move with hesitation. But when you focus on yourself, you move with conviction. You stop worrying about timelines. You stop worrying about competition. You stop worrying about who's ahead and who's behind. You understand that silence is your shield and focus is your weapon. Every second you waste explaining, justifying, defending. You're stealing time away from the mission. You're leaking energy that should be fueling your destiny. Focus on yourself like your life depends on it. Because it does. Grow in private, build in private, win in private. Let people think you're doing nothing while you're stacking victory on top of victory behind the scenes. Let them underestimate you. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Because when the time comes, when the work is undeniable, when the fruit is hanging heavy from your tree, you won't have to say a word. The results will introduce you. The success will announce you. The transformation will shock them. You don't need their permission. You don't need their applause. You don't need their understanding. Half the people you're trying to impress aren't even paying attention. The other half are too busy trying to survive their own storms. Focus on yourself and stay silent. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is discipline. Silence is strategy. Silence is patience. Silence is power. Every time you get tempted to post something just to get a reaction, remember, reaction is cheap. Results are expensive. If you spend your life chasing reactions, you'll live like everybody else, loud, scattered, frustrated, empty. But if you spend your life chasing results, you will move different. You will think different. You will become different. You owe it to yourself to get so focused that distraction feels foreign. You owe it to yourself to build a life so solid that nobody else's opinion can shake it. You owe it to yourself to wake up every morning so locked in on your purpose that talking about it feels unnecessary. The only talking you should be doing is to God, and the only explaining you should be doing is to the person in the mirror when you're holding yourself accountable. Some people are so loud about things they haven't even started. They waste their energy telling the world what they're about to do, how they're going to change, how they're going to win, but energy is a currency. Every time you speak before you move, you're spending currency you haven't earned yet. Move first, build first, win first. Speak only when it's undeniable, and even then, let your work speak louder than your words ever could. Not everybody deserves access to your process. Not everybody deserves access to your mind. Not everybody deserves access to your plans. Some things are too sacred to be shared. Some dreams are too raw to be spoken aloud. Some battles are meant to be fought in silence so that the victory can be even sweeter when it's finally revealed. You're not competing with anyone but the previous version of yourself. You're not racing against their timeline. You're running your own race. Stay in your lane. Keep your head down. Build when nobody is watching. Train when nobody is clapping. Practice when nobody is praising. Focus on the craft. Focus on the calling. Focus on becoming the person who can carry the blessing when it comes. Because if you can't stay silent while you're building, you won't have the discipline to stay wise when you succeed. If you can't focus now, when nobody is watching, you won't survive the weight of everybody watching later. Fame, attention, applause, they're heavy, they require strength, they require maturity, they require character, and that character is built in the silence, not in the spotlight. Fall in love with the silence. Fall in love with the grind. Fall in love with the mornings nobody sees, the nights nobody celebrates, the sacrifices nobody claps for. That's where greatness lives. That's where success is born, in the hidden places, in the unseen battles, in the quiet rooms where it's just you, your dreams, your doubts, and your decision to keep going anyway. You don't have to announce every move you make. You don't have to argue with people who doubt you. You don't have to explain yourself to people who don't understand you. Let them underestimate you. Let them question you. Let them think you've fallen off, given up, disappeared. Good. That just means you're working. Because while they're talking, you're building. While they're doubting, you're developing. While they're laughing, you're leveling up. And when the time is right, when the work is ripe, when the fruit is undeniable, you won't have to say a word. You'll walk different, you'll live different, you'll radiate it without ever opening your mouth. This is the season for quiet grinding, for unseen building, for private victories, for silent battles that sharpen your soul and mold your spirit. Don't waste your energy trying to correct people who don't even have the capacity to understand the magnitude of your mission. Protect your energy, protect your mind, protect your vision. Focus is a superpower in a world full of distraction. Silence is a weapon in a world full of noise. Your discipline, your patience, your relentless execution, that's the real flex, that's the real difference maker. While everybody else is distracted by the dopamine hits of likes, shares, claps, and temporary applause, you're building a foundation that can't be shaken by opinions or trends or shifting seasons. And when you get tired, and you will get tired, remember that every seed grows in silence. Every root deepens in darkness. Growth isn't glamorous. Progress isn't pretty. Success isn't supposed to be noisy. It's supposed to be painful. It's supposed to be lonely. It's supposed to be costly. But the harvest always pays back more than the price you paid to plant the seed. So if nobody is clapping for you right now, good. Clap for yourself. If nobody is checking for you right now, good. Check yourself. If nobody is hyping you up right now, good. Hype yourself up. This is where champions are made, not on the stage, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows where it's just you, your God, and your grit. Silence doesn't mean you're losing. Silence doesn't mean you're weak. Silence doesn't mean you're invisible. It means you're strategic. It means you're wise. It means you're dangerous to anything that thought it could stop you. Because the most lethal weapon is the one you never saw coming, the most unstoppable force is the one that didn't waste time announcing itself. It just showed up, fully formed, fully prepared, fully undeniable. Focus on yourself like the world depends on it, because your world does. Focus on yourself with such intensity that distractions burn away like paper in fire. Focus on yourself so deeply that self-doubt has no room to breathe. Focus on yourself so hard that success is inevitable, not optional. Every minute you spend worried about who's watching is a minute you could have spent becoming undeniable. Every second you waste explaining your vision is a second you could have spent executing it. Your life is too valuable to be lived for an audience that doesn't even clap for you when you win. Your purpose is too important to be distracted by opinions that don't build anything. Let your silence be your strategy. Let your work be your weapon. Let your results be your voice. Because when you stay silent and stay focused, you don't just win. You dominate. They won't see you coming, and that's the point. They won't expect the person they overlooked to become the one they can't ignore. They won't expect the quiet one to become the storm, but you will. You will because you were too busy working while they were too busy watching. You will because you were too disciplined to stop when it got hard, too focused to be pulled off course, too silent to be distracted by the noise. Success doesn't belong to the loudest. It belongs to the most disciplined. It belongs to the one who kept showing up after the excitement wore off, after the applause stopped, after the audience left. It belongs to the one who kept building even when there was nobody there to validate it. It belongs to the one who understood that private discipline always turns into public reward. There is a certain power that comes from mastering the art of not announcing your every move. It's a power most people will never understand because they're too addicted to validation. They're too busy needing to be seen, to be liked, to be praised. But you're not most people. You weren't built for the temporary satisfaction of applause. You were built for the lasting fulfillment of legacy, so when the world says, "Tell us your plans," smile and say nothing. When they say, "Show us what you're working on," keep building in silence. When they doubt your progress because they can't see it, let them doubt. Their disbelief is none of your business. Their confusion is none of your concern. Your business is focus. Your concern is execution. Stay silent because silence protects your energy. Stay silent because silence confuses your enemies. Stay silent because silence is the soil where unstoppable momentum grows. While they're asking questions, you're finding answers. While they're wondering, you're working. While they're criticizing, you're creating. While they're laughing, you're launching. And the best part is this. When you finally step out with what you've built, it'll be too late for them to stop it. It'll be too solid to be shaken. It'll be too real to be denied. That's the reward for staying silent, staying focused, staying true to the vision even when the world tried to pull you away from it. Most people never get there because they get distracted. They get baited into arguments that don't matter. They get pulled into battles they don't need to fight. They waste their power trying to convince people who will never understand. Don't be most people, be the exception. Be the one who doesn't waste words. Be the one who doesn't explain. Be the one who just delivers. The dream was given to you for a reason. Not everybody will understand it. Not everybody needs to. Your job isn't to make them understand. Your job is to make it happen. Your job is to honor the calling, not to cater to the crowd. Your job is to keep planting seeds, keep watering them, keep nurturing them, even when it looks like nothing is happening. Especially when it looks like nothing is happening, because that's where the difference is made. In the seasons where the world thinks you're standing still, but your roots are going deep. In the seasons where it looks like you're losing, but you're really learning how to win. In the seasons where nobody sees the work, but the foundation is being fortified for the weight of the blessing that's coming. If you talk too soon, you expose yourself too soon. If you announce too early, you invite pressure you're not ready for. Silence is what gives you the space to grow without interference. It's what gives you the freedom to fail, to pivot, to adjust, without the peanut gallery of opinions slowing you down. Focus is what transforms average into unstoppable. Focus is what turns potential into performance. Focus is what takes dreams out of the clouds and roots them into reality. You don't need more opinions. You don't need more exposure. You don't need more applause. You need ruthless, relentless, razor-sharp focus. You need a work ethic so savage that laziness can't live in the same room as you. You need a vision so clear that the noise of the world sounds like silence in your ears. And that doesn't happen by accident. It happens by choice. It happens by discipline. It happens when you make the decision that you would rather be silently successful than loudly mediocre. It happens when you value your destiny more than your dopamine. Nobody needs to understand why you're working the way you're working. Nobody needs to get why you're sacrificing, why you're grinding, why you're staying up late and waking up early and saying no to distractions that look good but lead nowhere. That's not their job to understand. It's your job to stay focused anyway. Let the results introduce you. Let the success tell the story. Let the work scream so loud that you never have to say a word. Focus on your habits, focus on your discipline, focus on your mentality, focus on your work ethic, focus on building the kind of life that doesn't need defending because it is undeniable. You don't owe them updates. You don't owe them access. You don't owe them explanations. Your only obligation is to become everything you were created to be. Your only duty is to show up for yourself at a level so high that the world can't help but feel the shockwave when you arrive. There's a reason the lion doesn't roar every time it moves. There's a reason the eagle doesn't flap its wings to announce its flight. Power doesn't need to broadcast itself. Power is presence. Power is certainty. Power is silence wrapped in strength. Let them run their mouths. Let them count you out. Let them celebrate too early. Let them think you're asleep, finished, done. Let them, because while they're laughing, you're leveling up. While they're playing games, you're building empires. While they're wasting time, you're making history. The real ones don't move for applause. The real ones move because they were called. The real ones don't chase clout. They chase purpose. They chase impact. They chase legacy, and legacy is never built with noise. It's built with quiet, consistent, relentless action. So today, if you needed a reminder, this is it. You don't have to shout. You don't have to prove. You don't have to announce. You just have to focus. You just have to execute. You just have to stay so committed to the process that the product becomes undeniable, and when it does, because it will, you won't have to say a word. You have to want it bad enough to disappear for a while. You have to want it bad enough to be misunderstood. You have to want it bad enough to be forgotten. You have to be willing to vanish into your own grind, to become invisible in the eyes of others, so you can become undeniable in the eyes of your destiny, because the truth is, not everyone is supposed to see you build. Not everyone is supposed to clap for you while you're planting seeds. Some people need to think you gave up. Some people need to think you quit. Some people need to think you were all talk, no action. Let them believe that. Let them sit comfortable in their small minds while you expand into your full potential. The strongest version of you is forged in fire, not in fanfare. It's built in silence, not on stages. It's crafted in seasons of isolation where the only voice you hear is the one inside you saying, "Keep going." And if you listen to that voice long enough, if you obey it long enough, the world won't be able to deny you when your time comes. They won't even know what hit them because they weren't paying attention when you were busy transforming. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't even have the discipline to pursue their own dreams. Stop leaking your energy into conversations that don't move you forward. Every time you pause your progress to address someone else's opinion, you slow yourself down. Every time you argue with someone who doesn't even have the vision you have, you betray the mission you're called to fulfill. You don't owe the world transparency, you owe yourself transformation. You don't owe the world a roadmap, you owe yourself the journey. You don't owe the world explanations, you owe yourself execution. Focus on your habits because habits build futures. Focus on your health because your body carries your destiny. Focus on your mindset because your mind is the steering wheel of your life. Focus on your spirit because what you build will only be as strong as the foundation you set it on. You don't have to move fast, you just have to move consistently. You don't have to impress anyone, you just have to keep showing up for yourself. You don't have to talk about how you're changing, you just have to change. You don't have to tell them you're winning, you just have to win. When it's real, you don't have to sell it. When it's real, you don't have to announce it. When it's real, you just walk in it, you just embody it. You just are it. People who are really about it don't need to talk about it. They don't need to convince anybody. They're too busy working, they're too busy building, they're too busy becoming. While others are chasing attention, real ones are chasing mastery. Real ones are chasing discipline. Real ones are chasing results that last longer than a news cycle or a comment section. So don't get caught up in the noise. Don't get seduced by the claps of crowds that wouldn't even show up for you if you lost it all. Don't get distracted by the praise of people who secretly hope you fail. Build yourself in the dark. Build yourself in the quiet. Build yourself so strong, so solid, so unshakable that nothing and no one can move you when the storms come. Because storms will come, tests will come, seasons of silence where it feels like nobody sees you, nobody values you, nobody supports you. They will come, but that's when you find out who you really are. That's when you either break or you build. That's when you either quit or you keep grinding until you break through. Most people don't make it because they start strong but don't stay strong. They start focused but don't stay focused. They start silent, but then get thirsty for validation halfway through the process. Don't be most people. Be the one who sees it through. Be the one who finishes what you started. Be the one who doesn't just dream but delivers. It's not about how you start, it's about how you endure. It's about how you execute when nobody's watching. It's about how you hold yourself together when it looks like nothing is working. It's about trusting the process more than you trust your feelings. It's about trusting your grind more than you trust their opinions. You don't owe the world a show. You owe yourself a life, a life built on real results, real growth, real mastery. A life that speaks for itself without you having to utter a single word. You weren't built for average. You weren't built for mediocrity. You weren't built to explain yourself to people who have never even dared to dream at your level. You were built to move different, built to see different, built to grind different, built to win different, and different isn't always understood. Different isn't always celebrated. Different isn't always comfortable. But different is necessary if you want to live the life you were created to live. So stop shrinking to fit into spaces you were called to outgrow. Stop explaining yourself to people you were never called to impress. Stop slowing down your destiny trying to drag people with you who were never built for where you're going. Stay focused, stay silent, stay dangerous, move in purpose, move with precision, move with power that doesn't need to announce itself. Build the kind of success that doesn't need a megaphone. Build the kind of character that doesn't need an audience. Because when it's your time, and trust me, your time is coming, you won't have to fight for the spotlight. You won't have to beg for opportunities. You won't have to chase validation. Your work will make the noise. Your results will clear the path. Your consistency will shake the ground you walk on. The ones who truly win are the ones who mastered themselves in the silence before the world ever saw the victory. The ones who became giants in rooms so empty that their own echo was their only companion. The ones who dared to believe when nobody else did. The ones who stayed the course when everybody else quit. You're not just building a career, you're not just chasing goals, you're not just stacking wins, you're building you. You're building something inside of you that no economy, no trend, no opinion can take away. You're building resilience, you're building character, you're building wisdom, you're building the kind of strength that isn't just seen, it's felt, and that, right there, that invisible, unstoppable, undeniable strength is why you focus. Why you stay silent, why you move different. Because when it's your season, when the floodgates open, when the fruits of your labor start falling heavy from the branches, nobody will ask what you were doing all that time you were quiet. They'll already know. They'll feel it in your presence. They'll see it in your results. They'll hear it in the silence between your words. You don't have to be loud to be legendary. You just have to be focused enough, disciplined enough, relentless enough to keep building when nobody is watching. Because the world doesn't belong to the ones who made the most noise. It belongs to the ones who made the deepest impact.